All right, guys, so if you're watching this, you're probably coming from Lex's channel. This is the continuation of the Q&A, so enjoy.
Is that it? You good with that? So enjoy.
So enjoy.
Are you happy with that? It's your chance. Cool. Yeah, that quick, yeah.
Part 2. Boom, baby.
If I find out what happens in a fight before I watch it, I'll find that person and I will put them in the ground.
I'm right here. Thoughts on Sadiq Hadzovic and how will he be in the classic division? Do you know who Sadiq is?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, I know
Sadiq. He's a good guy.
I remember I found out about him probably like 6 months ago. I was super inspired by him. I really like his physique. I feel like he's absolutely blown up recently. Like he's gotten like ridiculously massive.
His physique?
Yeah, he's a huge human being now. He's came in second a lot in Mr. Olympia, but
I think Sadiq should have won the last 2 years, both times. And in real life, he is a monster. I met him in, where were we? Germany. I saw him in Germany, like in the gym. He was training in the gym. Like I saw him at the expos, where like he's kind of covered up a lot of the time off season, isn't he? But in the gym, obviously, he was off season, but not covered up.
Yeah,
big dude.
Yeah.
Those guys are big guys. Anyway, next one. Let's go. Bam. What does it take to get sponsored by Gymshark, a dream goal? There is nothing that it takes. Like, there's no secret. It's like being sponsored by anybody, being picked up by anybody in a job or of any kind. You have to offer them something, and in terms of someone who's online, you have to be able to offer them analytical engagement. Well, that would be the best thing I'd say. So if you have engagement online and you can drive traffic, then you have marketability in terms of, you know, generating income for that company, and that's what it's got to be. So it's nothing like, companies aren't going to take you essentially and build you up for them. It doesn't really work like that. There has to already be a base there and a foundation. But that's not to say the companies aren't looking for like unestablished people, because they 100% are. Like, if you have a small following but a really good interaction rate, they're going to take a look at you. But you have to have that. So the best way is to be on all facets of social media. Make sure that you're not too kind of deep. Like I said all the time, you see people like taking a selfie by like in a toilet by a urinal, and they're like, chase your dreams, challenge the world. Like, there's like a urinal with a bit of piss in you behind you. What dreams are you chasing from that?
hilarious.
Yeah, can you cover that one?
Yeah, pretty much.
That moved like 3 spaces because you're already at the top.
Oh. What keeps you motivated to keep training hard? Are you planning on going to college? Keep it going, bro. You're going through a really good path. It's kind of funny, like when I first started training, probably within the first year, I would consistently look to other people for motivation. For example, like Z's, Greg Plitt, like all these online icons. Like it still is like that now, but to a lesser degree. But I feel like nowadays, just like motivation just comes like for myself. Like I just like want to improve. I want to become a better version of myself. Like that's kind of where my training motivation comes from. And currently, no, I'm not going to college, because when I used to go to high school, when I used to go to like regular school, like I was just not about school. I didn't enjoy waking up early, going to classes, to learn things that I wasn't really passionate about. I learned better when I'm by myself, learning on my own. So no, thankfully I'm not going to college, and thankfully I have this really wonderful opportunity with Gymshark to be traveling around the world doing really cool things. So it's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fair play. I just think the same thing. If you don't enjoy doing something, find what you do enjoy and do that. And the motivation, you can be motivated by other people, but if you don't have an internal motivation to want to do something, you're not going to be successful at it. You've got to have that internal drive. So like if there was nothing else going around you in the world, you'd still be able to get up and go after that one thing that you want. There's a lot of people say that, what keeps you motivated, like people losing motivation every other week kind of thing. It's like, if that's happening, you've got to reset your mind, you've got to change your mindset somehow or something. Like really look at why that's happening to you. Find the source of why that motivation is. Is it the people that you're around? Is it the fact that you're not surrounded by like-minded people? Because that's a huge thing. A lot of, especially in fitness, like if your group of friends aren't into fitness, they're not going to get you. They're not going to understand the nutritional side of it. They're not going to understand you looking at your food. They're not going to understand you wanting to go to the gym 5 times a week. They're going to literally look at you like you're a bit strange, because they cannot get it. Just like I don't understand people that go gambling. Like to me, it's just baffling. Like I can't see the enjoyment in losing a fuckload of money more times than you win it. The fact that it's no control in it is complete fucking luck. Like, or the same as smoking. Like suck smoke into your lungs to blow it back out again. That's literally how I see it. So me, it's just mind-boggling. I have no interest in it. So you think of it like that. Don't kind of get too kind of tunnel visioned on your train of thought. Understand like why people will see things differently to you, and then maybe address the people that you're surrounded by. Oh no, we'll do two. So quick one. Are either of you coming to Australia or the Arnold Classic in Melbourne 2017? Yeah, we're both likely to be coming to the Australian Expo again, because it's awesome and Melbourne's sick, definitely.
Can't wait.
There we go. Is there more longevity in lifting when you try to get stronger as rapidly as possible, or if you slowly pace your strength training gains? Is it theoretically possible to rapidly gain as much strength as fast as possible consistently over a long period of time with consistent training? So basically, can you get strong fast and keep getting strong fast over a long period of time?
I mean, if your just number one priority is to get as strong as possible, like yes, in theory there would be much more risk of injury, but if you're doing everything, this is super unlikely, but if you're doing everything perfectly with like flawless form, just making sure everything's perfect, then yeah, you'll be gaining as much strength as you possibly can while staying as safe as possible, but that is kind of unrealistic. So in a real world scenario, if you're trying to get as strong as you possibly can super fast, you're more than likely
gonna get hurt.
You're gonna get hurt.
But that thing like newbie gains as well, that strength increase that you see at the beginning, it's not linear. Anything you do in terms of fitness is not linear, and by that we mean it doesn't kind of just go like this, increasing all the time. What happens is it'll spike quickly, but then it'll plateau off. So you end up with this curve that does, rather than this straight line of up to increase, you'll go whoop, and then it'll plateau off and very slowly incline from that point. So theoretically, like you can get strong relatively fast in comparison to your starting point, but then you've got to accept that it's going to slow way down, and after that it gets grindy, and you've got to just stick with the progression and consistency.
Yeah. Do you recommend BCAAs for obese people trying to lose fat? I mean,
no. BCAAs have nothing to do with losing fat. Sort your diet out.
If you're fat, yeah, just caloric deficit.
Yeah, sort your diet out. Simple.
Yeah. How to get to the gym all the time with a busy schedule. The thing is, I know a lot of people that have a very busy schedule. They're always complaining, oh, I can't go to the gym, I can't do all this. But the thing is, if you want to train and you want to have a good physique and that's a priority to you, and you have like a job and a very busy schedule, it's like up to you to plan around that and plan accordingly to fit time for training, because you 100% can, but you just have to plan for it.
And you can do an entire training session in 30 to 45 minutes. If you can't commit 2 hours to do like a strength training program, then accept that that's not what you can do and find an alternative. So do some HIIT training, get in there, high intensity, low rest, superset work. This is where supersets come into play. Supersets drastically reduce the time of your training, but they obviously reduce your ability to lift heavy weights. So you have to sacrifice that strength gain for that. But again, you're going to make progression. In terms of building a physique that looks good, you don't have to be lifting heavy. Proven fact. We've known this for years. We're not saying you don't lift heavy to get bigger. You can do that as well, but you don't have to. That's the main point. And don't sit down. Go from wherever your workplace is straight to the gym. Straight from one door of the workplace to the door of the gym. Because if you sit down or do anything in between those two times, I guarantee you waste an hour of time that could have been in the gym. Tips for balancing a very hectic college, gym and work life. Set yourself timetables, notes, to-do lists, all things like that. I'm terrible. My time management is horrendous. Well, my time management's bad. His time management is horrendous. Like, he time travels. He takes that long to do something. So, we're both really bad and we still get things done. It's just a matter of prioritizing, I think, and don't get distracted. I'm notoriously bad for starting something and then just focusing on something else all of a sudden, and I kind of half do both things. So yeah, try and give yourself, the best people, what they do is give themselves a block of time to do a certain job, and they get the job done in that time, and then they move on to the next block regardless. And that's a good way of doing it.
As a beginner, should you train your full body or a split routine? In my opinion, if you're a beginner, it's probably more ideal to have like a full body program 3 to 4 days a week, because like muscle protein synthesis mainly lasts only like 24 to 48 hours after your training, and plus as a newbie you want to be hitting those lifts as frequently as possible to, like Lex said, like get that stabilization issue fixed. So as a beginner, I think you can make extremely rapid fast gains training full body, and then once you start plateauing or start losing your beginner gains, then it's better to basically split it up pretty much.
Yeah. I agree. There's nothing wrong with full body routines. It's like people just kind of look at them as if they're one or the other. You can incorporate full body routines at any point during your training from now to 15 years down the line. It's just a matter of, like David said, if you hit any plateau stages, why are you hitting those plateaus? Change something up that gets you through the plateau. You don't have to start a full body routine, just like you don't have to start a split routine. Either or is going to be good for you, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, your body's going to react to anything and everything, like real fast. What I would say is keep up the high frequency training. So that means hitting your body parts multiple times per week. Don't get sucked into the bro lifting where you do one body part, absolutely annihilate it to the point of just not even be able to feel it by the end of the session, and then not do it again for like 7 days, because that is really gonna, you will progress. I massively battle against people who say you can't progress doing that, because that's nonsense. You will progress, especially when you're new to training. You're gonna grow whatever.
That's what I did in my first year of training. Like once a week, once every 10 days.
Yeah, man. Everybody does. But you progress though, yeah?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I progress way better doing the high frequency and being much more structured in my training. But you will still progress. So don't worry if you've been doing like the bro split of a single body part. You've not wasted your entire time. You just haven't been the most efficient that you could have been. And you probably increased your risk of injury a little bit more, because you're really hammering the joints on set movements, like continually for a single day, bam, 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 like endlessly throwing a football for just an hour and just smashing this one joint. That's kind of what you're doing on the bro splits. Whereas when you're doing the high frequency stuff, your volume for each body part is reduced, so the movements you put your joints through with regard to that body part are in turn reduced in that one time scale. So that's definitely a better way of doing it. So full body works, do it, incorporate it as and when you see fit. High frequency split routine, 2-3 body parts a day.
Yeah.
Bam. Cool. Oh, one for you. Yo, David. Word.
What's up?
He's been training for 3 years straight. Straight spell S-T-R-A-I-T. That's the gangster way of spelling it.
He's straight.
Always had struggles gaining weight and developing a lower body. Please give tips on how to succeed.
Even though my lower body's like my best body part or like muscle group, so it's kind of hard for me to give advice, but at the same time I think I can really help you out. So if you've been training for 3 years and you're straight, you're heterosexual, and you've been training straight for 3 years and your lower body's lacking, I make sure that your form on your squats and deadlifts, if you're doing those, are completely in check. They're good and you're progressing on that. And if that's not enough, you just simply have to increase the frequency of you doing like accessories. For example, like leg press is good, quad extensions, hamstring curls, all those isolation movements. You just basically got to increase the volume on those. You can't really increase like the frequency on your squats and deadlifts too much, because they're like your central nervous system is going to get fried, but just more volume for them. So for example, like on your off days or on your, for example, like chest days or something, just throwing a few sets of like quad extensions, some hamstring curls, stuff like that. Yeah.
And you say you've been going for 3 years. So if you've been going for 3 years and you've kind of like not made any real gains, you should have really readjusted your training, your diet to check all these things in that time.
I was in the impression that it's like just as lower body though.
Yeah. So form, you got to be looking at form.
Yeah.
Like depth on squats, mobility, hip mobility. That's usually one. The dexterity of your joints as well, in terms of like your natural like flexion in your ankles and knees. Like, are you able to do these movements well? If you're not, why adjust it and change?
Yeah.
I guarantee
squat shoes.
Yeah. Make sure you got the right kit. Make sure you're not ego lifting. Wrap your joints up. Even if it's just a confidence thing, a mental barrier breaker. If you wrap your joints up, you'll just be more confident in the movement.
Yeah, for me, I use knee sleeves. Yeah, they pretty much don't really help in terms of poundage, but psychologically, they're so nice.
And in terms of biology, they keep the heat around the joint as well, which is very good.
Warm.
So, especially if you're like notorious for taking time doing stuff, like anything in life, like brushing your teeth, putting stuff in a bin.
Putting stuff.
Right. I'm gonna find one that I actually like now. That's a good one as well. We've done a lot of randoms. Yeah, let's just smash some questions out. So just go through and we'll just go bam, bam, bam.
Okay.
So we're gonna finish on fast pace. Quickfire round. So this quickfire will be split over both our channels. So you'll see the quickfire here. I'm going to do like a load of quickfires on my questions, and then Dave will do a load of quickfires on his for his channel. So we'll go. So I'm going to go mine. How long does it take to grow your hair? Well, your hair grows as it grows. Like, go to a barber that's good at cutting your hairstyle into at least something you can manage whilst it's growing into the style you like. That's the trick. Let them cut it into the style you want. Don't just kind of let it go like a hedge and then expect it to look good.
Yeah. Would you ever compete in a powerlifting meet yes, I would. It's probably something fun that I want to do in the future, but I wouldn't like take it so serious or have like a hardcore prep tour that I do just for fun, just for shits and giggles, and just for the adrenaline rush on the platform. So yeah.
How do you stay really consistent in training? Enjoy your training. If you don't enjoy your training, you're not going to go. So if you don't like it, flip the routine. Like we said before, there's no real right or wrong way. The best way to do it is the way you're going to be the most efficient in your training. So do the one you love. Simple.
How much could you bench at age 13? Probably like 85 pounds, 85, 95 pounds.
I could probably bench my mountain bike because I'd never been on a bench press at that point and was always riding my bike. So I could definitely pick that up over my head. How do you keep your beard so fresh? Beard oil, a good barber, and blow dry it when you get out of the shower.
Favorite non-fitness YouTuber, Dom Mazzetti.
Oh, good. Yeah. Favorite non-fitness YouTuber, Joe Rogan. I'm counting him because he puts his podcast on there and he's just legendary. That's a good one. What are the perks of being sponsored by Gymshark? I get to travel the world, meet our fans, meet people that support us on a daily basis, and actually affect people's lives in a real way. So like you guys don't see a lot of it, but I get emails every day about how something I put in a video has helped somebody over a hurdle in their life. So even the little things that I say that to me seem silly, connect with other people and help them through sticky situations and hurdles, which is a fucking amazing thing to be part of.
Yeah.
Can you or David do an arm wrestling match? Yeah, but David would win, like outright, because he actually likes arm wrestling and knows how to do it properly. I watched him do it the other day and he's like all on a video and he's all like hooked in like tight. He's watched like Stallone over the top like 28 times and he's like, cap goes backwards, flicks his hair and BAM! Yeah, so I'd definitely be pointless. I would lose.
Jeff side, let's go.
Jeff versus Lade.
What are y'all's ultimate goals in the next year of training? Personally, since I have a new Texas deadlift bar, I want that 7-plate aside deadlift. I want that 675 deadlift.
Damn, that would look awesome. Okay. How many times a week do you do cardio? Good one. I'd say try and do it 3 times a week. Try and hit somewhere between 100 and 200 calories. HIT or steady state. Keep it in all year round if you can, because like I said, the fitter you are, the better you are. I travel so much, I'm not doing cardio at the moment because I notoriously undereat when I'm traveling. So to do cardio on top would just be kind of anti-progressive. But when I do it, it'd be boxing 3 times a week.
David, should I get into magic or lifting? If you're under the age of...
Magical lifting. Done. Levitate the weights. Best routine for cutting. Right, that's a good one. Best routine for cutting, cardio, diet. Boom. Your training never needs to change for a cut or a gain in terms of weights.
Do you play Call of Duty? No, I don't. I tried to as a kid, but something about it, I was just like so bad. It would take me like, when I would try to aim at someone, like if, for example, the lens is the person I'm trying to shoot, I'd go here, here, here. By the time I stabilize myself to shoot them, I'm dead. So that's terrible. I don't play.
No, I like the game. I don't like playing online because I like to play realistically, and you got people jumping and spinning off 4th-story windows and shooting people down. I was like, no, not for me. Right, last one. How to cut but not lose muscle? That's a good question, so we may as well just finish on that's a good one to answer. How to cut and not lose muscle. Supportive diet. Make sure that you're not cutting your food and that you're using activity as a variable from the start. So like a lot of people when they start dieting immediately drop food. What you should do is sit at a maintenance level and increase your activity. That's one of the main starting points.
Yeah. For me, how to cut without losing muscle, really. Just, if you're trying to cut weight in a very short amount of time, you're pretty much almost guaranteed to lose a lot of muscle. But if you make your cut for a long period of time where you could very gradually lower your calories, then you have the most probability to pretty much keep as much muscle as you possibly can. And when you're cutting especially, that's when you have to make sure that your training is on point. Because if you start missing workouts, skipping, slacking in the gym, then it's really gonna affect you. So yeah.
Really good point. Realistic timelines again. Don't slack on your training, because if you slack on your training, you're slacking on your calorie burning, which is going to affect the level at where your food's at. So if you're not burning the calories where you were losing weight at a certain level of nutritional intake, obviously you're going to stop losing weight if you reduce your activity level. So like I say, keep activity levels high. When you get to a certain point of doing cardio and you don't want to do any more cardio, you're like, that's enough for each week, I can't be asked to do anymore, then start pulling food from that point. Don't rush it. 7-day average weights. Don't panic if the scales change day to day, because they're gonna. Yeah. And also use the mirror, especially when you get deep into a cut, because you're looking at losing like 0.5 pound a week but you're looking in the mirror, you're going to see more changes in the mirror than you do on the scales.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I think we nailed that out.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Solid.